Item number 4, know your presentation. Know your presentation. Now, the good news is in our next modules, we're going to talk about how to construct that presentation so you really do know it. What I'm telling you for now is that the more you know your presentation, the more confidence you have about your delivery, the more clear you are about the way you present it, and the more you've practiced it, the more calm you're going to feel about walking out on stage. What's really interesting is that people forget the 5% rule. The first 5% of anything is difficult. It just is that way. I'm into kiteboarding or kite surfing, you may know it as. And you know what's interesting? When I went to my first kite surfing lesson, I got there and the instructor took the bar out with all these, if you don't know kite surfing, it's standing on like a wakeboard type board, connected to a harness that's connected to a bar that's connected to lines that run up to a massive kite. And that kite goes up in the sky and it can take you everywhere. It's incredibly fast and it can be very dangerous if it's not taught properly. And so I'm looking at this complicated system with all these strings, and the strings have to connect here. And he said, oh, well, what happens if you connect the strings wrong? And he goes, well, you could kill somebody. Oh. And I thought, you know what? I don't even need to learn this sport. I just backed out. I was like, you know what? I don't need to learn another complex thing in my life right now. Nope. And he goes, wait. He says, don't you live on Kite Beach in the Dominican Republic? I said, yeah. And he goes, don't worry. In the Dominican Republic, there's a whole kite surfing culture there. And they have all kite schools everywhere. And they have these kids called kite caddies. And they'll set your kite up for you. They know how to do it. They do it 100 times a day. And they'll do it for you so you don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we set up the kite and we went out kiting and learned how to use the kite. Then we learned how to use the kite in the water. Then we learned how to use the kite with the board. And I'm there for about a week learning how to kiteboard. And then around about the 5th day, he comes along and he goes, hey, Eric, I got to help this other student over there. Could you just line the strings up? I'll connect them when I get back. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I line the strings up and I get them all lined up parallel and set up exactly right. And then he comes over and he connects the strings to the kite. And it's the simplest thing in the world. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 because I'd lined them up correctly. The next day he goes, oh, Eric, I got to finish up with this client. Could you please set the kite up? And I'm like, yeah. And I just go and I set the kite up. And he was such a good instructor that I never noticed that I was learning and getting over that first 5%. What I'm trying to say here is that these things that we're talking about, when we have a new presentation that we want to do, or when presenting is even new or uncomfortable for us, there is a period of time that it might be like that. And if we can overcome that period of time quickly, it can end fast. And the things I'm sharing with you here can help you with that. See it done. See it done. Breathe correctly. Use your eyes well. And really know your topic and know your presentation.